The third part of the proposal is the Kooranup Cultural Hub, which was inspired by the Aboriginal cultural element of Rottnest Island, also known as Wadjemup. Wadjemup is a place that is significant in Aboriginal cultural beliefs, where the island is often described as the place across the water where the spirits are. The chosen site for this proposal is due to an existing narrative specific to West End that is almost forgotten due to the lack of education provided. The narrative is a significant part of the island's history as it conveys not only the information of the current island, but also its historical and cultural beliefs through delivering educational experiences. Located at the end of the island is also known as Kooranup. It's a place where Aboriginal spirits rest, as this site is often described as heaven within their cultural beliefs. The site chosen was further reinforced by the RIA's desire to encourage people to explore different parts of the island. As the West End is an area opposite to the main settlement, the activation of the place is inadequate compared to other parts of the island due to the lack of facilities and activities provided. The only acknowledgement of the Kooranup narrative on the West End is a small audio box, isolated into the greenery away from the centre of the site. Hence, through our proposal, enhancing the acknowledgement of the Kooranup narrative is the key driver to propose facilities that allow people to learn and give insight to Aboriginal culture, which in turn promote people to stay within this area for a longer period of time, to fully experience the beauty and learn about the narratives of Kooranup. Thus, this proposal, the story of Kooranup, is told through the provision of a platform for Aboriginal people to tell their story, and this is achieved by providing spaces that allow for different methods of storytelling commonly used by Aboriginal people, and that is through art, dance, music, and events that consist of verbal communication. Prior to designing the Kooranup Cultural Hub, approaches to Aboriginal architecture were considered and were analysed in depth in order to achieve a design respectful to Aboriginal culture and values. These include the connection to country and their beliefs, the significance of storytelling through symbolism, and the traditions of Aboriginal architectural methodology. The Kooranup Cultural Hub expresses the concept of palimpsest in a way that it revitalises the history and the culture of Rottnest Island by embodying the narrative within its form, materials, and its spatial qualities. It also embodies three core design principles, which are porosity, framing, and balance, which links back to the concept of palimpsest. Porosity is embodied through the structure as it is designed in a way that it showcases its porosity through circulation. The structure allows one to access and approach from various different directions. It is also porous in a sense that it does not obstruct the natural views of the site and blends in with the surrounding environment. Framing is embodied through the openings of the structure, where it is oriented in a way that highlights the key views on the site, which is coastal views, specifically the views of Fishhook Bay and the Cape Flaming. Balance is addressed where the structure is designed in a way that it takes into consideration of the balance between the built form and nature through the use of materiality and the scale of the building in comparison with the site. The Kooranup Cultural Hub has been designed to allow for different points of entry to further enhance the range of experiences one can venture through their own journey. Pine is predominantly used throughout the design of the hub, where it can be seen in its structural framing, roofing, decking, as well as in the interior and exterior cladding. The purpose of the pine being their dominant material is because not only is pine one of the most sustainable resources within the built environment, it is also one of the most common materials utilised in Aboriginal construction methods. The narrative journey starts from the form of the structure, which incorporates two circles joined together and are connected through a transitional space. The form of a circle was chosen as the shape of a circle is significant in Aboriginal culture, and it symbolises a meeting place or a place to gather. The shape also encourages togetherness, as the circular form provides a strong sense of unity, inclusivity, wholeness, further reinforcing the idea of creating a warm, tolerant and safe space that is conducive to experiencing comfort for a wider range of demographics. There are 4 key functions that are emphasised within the design proposal, which are the storytelling area, transitional space, the fire pit area, and the surrounding green space. Upon approaching the hub, one would ascend up the ramp which would lead to the entrance of the gallery and the storytelling area. The storytelling area was designed in a way that people would sit around a central core where an Aboriginal elder would share Aboriginal Dreamtime stories, hence educating people about Aboriginal culture. This area provided could also be utilised as a space for performances for special occasions. The timber platform seatings underneath the canopy will encounter a unique lighting experience as some of the roof panel encompasses halls with the shape of branches to resemble the island's form of the natural environment. The gallery acts as a transitional space between the storytelling area and the fire pit. It represents the journey of the spirits travelling on the backs of whales from the east to the west end of the island. Elements of augmented reality through the utilisation of 4x flooring system is incorporated into the flooring of gallery, which one would scan the symbol embedded towards the end of the gallery with their devices. An animation would appear on their screens telling the story of the Kooranup narrative, further providing educational experiences. The history of the Rottnest Island will be showcased through the displays of artefacts on the shelves from the site, and the storytelling of the Aboriginal culture would also be told through the exhibition of local Aboriginal art, which will be updated occasionally, thereby providing a platform for a local Aboriginal artist to express themselves and their story. Upon exiting their transitional space, one would approach the fire pit area where Aboriginal cooking demonstrations and classes will be held, allowing people to be educated about a part of Aboriginal culture. The form of the fire pit also allows people to gather around a fire and enhance the Aboriginal cooking experience. Further developing the design through the landscaping, greenery was utilised as a response to create alternative pathways around the site using spinifex grass, commonly found scattered around Rottnest Island. The already existing asphalt pathways were retained as it is utilised as a wayfinder to facilities throughout West End. However, the addition of the greenery will improve the occupant's experience through adapted wayfinder pathways to better fit around the design for easier access to the structure and around the surrounding site. These green spaces will not only help blend in with the existing landscape and the greenery, but also provide spaces for events where tables and seatings can be provided and set up for alternative use. The landscaping around the design also incorporates grass, block pavers to allow for easier disability access to the ramp, as well as for easier bike access around the site. Therefore, achieved through the architecture itself, the Kooranup Cultural Hub aims to allow people to stay longer at the West End, and through this encourage people to appreciate and acknowledge the Kooranup narrative and the natural features of the island.